in the inside of my base, so they would literally have to go through 4 walls to get to 4 high-level walls to get to the inside of my base where all my resources, dark elixir, regular elixir, gold, and I have 3 wizard towers and a barbarian king guarding that too. So it's practically impossible for anybody to steal my stuff unless they have a lightning spell, and even that doesn't get a whole lot of stuff. So yeah.
Also, when you're creating your defenses, you want to make sure that your defenses overlap each other, so that in any one attack position, you're having multiple defenses. At least 2 or more. Yeah, responding to the attack in any one section. So you want your defenses to overlap. You want to make sure they overlap towards the outside of your wall, so that you can attack the enemies before they even get inside.
Also, it's a good idea to have cannons on the very first part of your wall, because that's where they're most likely to drop wall breakers, and the cannons are the first to respond to the wall breakers, so it's recommended that you do so.
Yeah, if you could put some items outside of your wall and create a little distance to where the enemy can drop the wall breakers, it's possible your cannons can finish them off before they even get a chance to blow up the wall. So if you have the resources or the equipment available, try to put low priority stuff outside there to extend the extend the range at which the
enemies will have to attack.
Yeah, they have to drop them out farther away from your wall. So
also, since you start off the game with 2 builders, it's recommended that you put the builders on polar opposites of the entirety of your base. Like in each corner, you should have some sort of building, probably the builder's hut, because that way they don't get anything from it. And so that way they'll have to literally travel across the entire map to destroy both of these items. So that's a good idea.
Yeah, if you spread your resources out and if it's to the point where you're able to fend off the enemy long enough so that the match gets close to the end. We've actually been successful and won a lot of matches because
they run out of time.
The enemy has to travel so far to destroy those little things. They actually run out of time. So, yeah, that's
it stops you from losing the maximum amount of trophies.
Yeah.
If you do, God forbid, if you do lose, it stops you from losing as many trophies as you possibly can. Actually, another thing that I love about the grid design, where you have many different compartments that they have to break through, is that I went to sleep. I got raided 3 times, and this means that I got a free 12-hour shield, which was nice, and also I got 61 trophies just because I was asleep, and my defense won every single time. So I woke up to a nice little surprise, and that's just to prove how well that defensive pattern works.
Yeah, I woke up to about 122 trophies.
Show off.
I actually got boosted up to a silver 1 level. Got attacked 3 or 4 times and won every battle. So not only did I get lots of trophies and not lose a whole lot of resources, but I got boosted up to a silver 1, and I got a free 12-hour shield. So. Oh, and also you guys need to realize when you do go on raids and such, there are different kinds of raids that people will do. Like, I know what I've done before a lot. If I'm going for a raid that's just for resources, I will go and I will not even try to win the match. I will literally just go to get the resources, and that's been really effective. Sometimes one time I went on an attack. I didn't win the attack, but I got over 200,000 of each resource, and I only ended up losing 10 trophies, so it worked out really, really well for me. So that's something that we recommend you do if you need to get resources quick. We recommend that you look for someone who has a lot of resources. Don't worry about winning, because if you're worried about trophies at a really early level, you shouldn't be, because when you lose, you don't lose a lot of trophies in the very beginning.
So we just recommend you do that to get all your resources built up, and later on it will pay off.
If you don't want to spend money on it.
Yeah, if you don't want to spend money.
One thing that I have a question about, though, is say I hit a silver level 1 and I'm 10 trophies above the level. If I get attacked and I lose, say, 15 trophies, does it drop me down to a silver level 2?
No, what happens is the game gives you 100 trophy leeway, so you can go under the allotted amount by 100 trophies. So even if you are, like, say, one league makes it so that you have to have 1,100 trophies, it'll let you go all the way down to 1,000 trophies, but once you get to 999 trophies, it's going to kick you back down.
Kick you back down, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that, what happened. I was always afraid to attack higher level bases just to get resources because I didn't want to lose trophies and get dropped down, so...
And really getting dropped down isn't a big deal. I mean, it helps to be at the higher levels to get the extra resources that they give to you, but it's not something that I would stress over if I were you.
Okay, so that's our Clash of Clans update that we wanted to give you guys.
/ Flappy Bird.
/ waste of time, Flappy Bird.
I have a high score of 42, and I know there might be some pros out there that... I saw somebody today who had 174, and I was like, that's like almost physically impossible. I'm like, how is that?
But more importantly, nobody cares about that, so...
Yes.
Some righteous rants. Xanman has some legitimate righteous rants involving people at airports and inconsiderate people. So you want to elaborate?
So I was flying out to see my mom a couple of years back, and I'm on the airplane going to get into line, and there's 10 other people in front of me that have been waiting for probably 2 hours to get into the line. And then all of a sudden, this lady who's got a 2-year-old who's being perfectly fine in her stroller, she's not doing anything wrong, and she's being perfectly fine in her stroller, she goes up to the very front of the line to get checked, and she says, "Hey, do you mind if we cut in front of you?" And I would have been no, I've been waiting here for 2 hours. You can wait as well, okay? Your baby's being perfectly fine. I mean, I guess I can understand if she had a 5-year-old that was running around, because behind me was this mom, and she had a 5-year-old, probably looks like a 7-year-old, and then a 2-year-old who's crying, and she's not asking to cut into the very front of the line. So this one girl, she shows up in her Siobhan and her expensive clothes, and she's like, "Oh, can I cut in front of you? I have a baby." No, you can wait, just like that other girl that's behind there, and you can just wait, okay? You don't need to be in the front of the line just because you have a baby. It doesn't make you special.
What happened to women and children first, man?
Well, if it's a child who is being perfectly behaved and it's a snooty woman, then...
A snooty woman?
A snooty woman.
Snooty women.
It's an actual species. You can look it up. And then also, and this is back to the snooty women species, they always decide to go to airports, and then there's people, and I'll be in the airport, and I'll have a sweatshirt and some sweatpants on, and I'll have no watches, I won't have fancy shoes on, and then all of a sudden this girl shows up with her gaudy metal chains and her 8,000 layers of clothes and metal and her giant loops, and she's got 80 rings and bracelets on. Where are you going when you get off this plane to Texas? Where are you going looking like that?
Why do you have to wear that through the line so that it takes you 45 minutes to get checked in?
Yeah, you go to the where they have to check for the metal, and they check so that you don't have any guns or knives on you and whatnot. And then it's like, oh, sorry, I forgot to take this off. Oh, sorry, I forgot to take this off. And lo and behold, after I was actually in line and I had like an extra 2 hours, like I was going to be perfectly fine, now I only have like 30 minutes to get all my stuff situated, to get checked out through security and such. And just because you decided to wear all of your metal jewelry that you physically had that was able to be put on your body to get to like freaking Houston, like really... You need... I just don't understand people. Like, you can't put that on, like, once you get off the airplane. You can't put that on, like, later on. I just don't I don't understand why you would need to do that. Like, are you going to a metal convention? Is there some sort of reason that you are flying in the middle of, like, 110-degree weather with, like, 80 layers of clothes on? Like, no. Just get off your high horse and take off your jewelry. No one wants to look at you. Everybody thinks you're a horrible person with your stupid like 18-inch high heels. And
so what about the tailgaters on the snow?
And then you come and you finally get back, and so we're up here, as you know, right now we are up. We got here to what would you say? Probably like the Midwest. In Indiana, near Chicago?
We're in northwest Indiana, 15 minutes outside Chicago, right on the southern tip of Lake Michigan.
And so we get a lot of lake effect snow and such. And there's
to elaborate on lake effect snow, if you don't know what it is, early on in the winter season, the lake protects us from snow because it's still warm from the summer. However, later in the winter, when the lake gets really cold, it actually increases the amount of snow we get because the wind blowing over the water takes on extra cold temperatures from the cold water and it increases the amount of snow we get. That's why they call it lake effect. So,
but anyway, so we get all the snow, and then there's these people who have like their Chevys and their Silverado, and they're like, oh, I have four-wheel drive, so that means that I can stop on a dime. No, your four-wheel drive just means that you have more torque. You can drive better over rocks. That doesn't mean anything about your stopping ability. Your brakes are still the same as my little Ford or Honda Fit that's cruising along with its little thousand-pound car. And if you decide to tailgate me and I have to stop for some reason, you're going to smash me. Because I am the worst rated car for safety. Tied for the worst rated car for safety.
So basically, what it is that we've talked about this in the last episode and probably a couple other ones. If you drive a four-wheel drive vehicle, it doesn't make you stop any faster. Anti-lock brakes will help with that. Proper braking techniques will help with that. Proper steering will help with that. Four-wheel drive just allows you to have more traction on unstable road environments. It does not allow you to stop any faster. So,
unless you're going to get some golden brakes.
Please do not tailgate in the ice and snow around here. On the way home yesterday from Valparaiso, from kids' basketball games, we saw about 8 cars slid off the road, crashed into the medians in the snow on the highway, spun around, probably because they were trying to turn too quickly or brake too quickly and they were driving fast. People go hit the 70-mile-an-hour speed limit on slush and ice, and you just have to understand that you should be going like 45 instead of 70. It's, if you crash, you're not going to get where you're going any faster. So you have to drive slower. So, anyway, so that covers that. We wanted to play a couple rants by the Avinator regarding a few things. She's not available for our live recording day. We recorded some rants by her, so I'm going to play one here. This one of my favorite rants of hers. So here we go. This is the Avinator talking about one of the things that kind of pisses her off.
David Letterman show. I literally can't. Oh my gosh, honey, look at your butt. black elixirs.
So Avery, tell us what you think about Paul Schaefer.
I can tell you that it's the reason that I don't watch the David Letterman show. I literally cannot stand. I can't stand him. I don't know him. I've never